There we go. All right. And we're off in 3, 2, 1.
1861, I enlisted in the War of the Rebellion at Warsaw in Benton County, Missouri, under Colonel O'Kane. We went to Coal Camp, fought the Dutch, and cleaned them out completely.
Let's talk about Super Mario's raccoon scrotum.
She's only your girl because she ain't had a taste of the Duke yet. This is the Morning Stream.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TMS. We hope you had a nice Memorial Day here in the States.
Yes.
You know, I know that Canada and others have different days for their memorial type days, but ours was yesterday, okay?
Yeah, and so that's why we had nothing. We
That's
did
right.
nothing, no show.
We did no show, but we're back and we have show. Now we have show.
Right.
Did you do anything fun? Did you barbecue? Did you do anything cool? What'd you do?
Did something fun, did something cool, but it wasn't barbecuing. We went to the National Lacrosse League Finals Game 2, the only one of the 3-game series that is played in Colorado. The Colorado Mammoth soundly defeated the Buffalo Bandits. Sadly, we lost Game 1, so that means it does get pushed to a Game 3, which is this coming Saturday.
Only 3 though, not a series of
only
5
3,
or 7 or whatever. Okay.
Nope, only 3. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
let's just make it.
I kind of wish more national sports would do that. Just do best out of 3. Why not?
Yeah, right. Exactly. If you can't decide your series of, well, I mean, obviously you sell more tickets, you sell more concessions, you sell more
TV
T-shirts.
time,
The longer
yeah.
the team draws it out. If they have to play at least 4 games, then it's revenue.
Yeah, what am I
So,
kidding? It's all money. It's the reason they do
Yeah,
it. Of course they
exactly.
do. That's interesting. So once is this a first for the Mammoth, or are they, returning champs, or what's their deal?
They are returning champs. They're defending. They won the title last year, first time since 2006.
Oh my gosh.
So they won 2006 and then again in 2022. And if they beat the Bandits, it'll be a repeat of what they did last year, where they beat the Bandits in the finals to take the championship. So
Wow.
It was one of the most aggressive games we've ever seen. There were I can't tell you, at least 12 penalties on the Bandits for slashing and roughing and cross-checking and stuff like that, and a lot of fights, like knock off the helmets, gloves off.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like hockey level, old hockey. They don't feel like they do that anymore.
They
Hockey's
don't,
gotten
yeah,
too safe.
not so much anymore, which is good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's making people live longer,
Yeah, exactly.
But as a player and as an old hockey game video gamer, I like me some fights,
It just adds a little bit of seasoning to the action.
Yeah.
How was your Memorial Day? What'd you do? Did you barbecue? What'd you do?
We had huge plans with all the kids. We were gonna do brats and do this whole barbecue thing. Kim was gonna make Cajun corn and all. We had all these plans, and then one by one, all the kids had something come up.
Oh no!
Not things that were better deals, but Van was sick, so she didn't want to take him anywhere. Nick and B had something going on with one of her friends, and Carter, of course, is in Europe, and so Kim and I looked at each other and went, I think what we're doing here, because we spent the whole week, by the way, babysitting my niece the entire weekend.
Okay.
And that was a lot. She's a sweet kid, but she's a handful. She's 6. And
How old? 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's not an age where you can just say, all right, go entertain yourself.
Yeah. And when Van was around, she was like, when is he going home? She didn't want to share the
I
spotlight.
didn't want to share the attention.
Yeah. So it was a little crazy. I really love Olive. She's a cutie, but she just takes, she takes some effort. So by the time that she left, which was yesterday early, and then the rest of the day was starting to pan out to be not as many, the plans that were going to work, Kim and I looked at each other and we're just like, we're going to go to the pool, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to barbecue for ourselves, and we're going to sit out here on the patio, and we're going to have a proper empty nest moment. And it was great. It was freaking great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nothing
so it was
wrong with that.
Yeah, low key, but high key enough to have had a good time. Plus, look, she made the same food she was going to make anyway, and I benefited directly from that. So that was really
Yeah,
good.
and you guys, you have the kids over often enough that it's not like, oh my God, we missed our chance to get together, and this one chance that we had for a holiday get together. It's like, no, it'll happen Thursday. Anyway.
Oh yeah. That's the other thing is it's like, oh, no big deal. Like Wednesday, tomorrow, Van and Phoebe are here all day because Taylor has a shoot, and then Nick and B were here on Sunday anyway, doing laundry and having dinner. So it's just like they're always here. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had a nice
Who
little
needs Memorial Day?
Yeah, just a nice little couples day. It was nice.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. Real quick here though, I did a weird thing. Let me tell you about my weird thing.
Oh, tell me about your weird thing.
And don't worry, everybody. We do have a morning forum winner. We'll do that in a second. Just relax yourselves. Best part of that clip.
Absolutely.
I was blind on purpose for 15 minutes. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Do tell. That's a good story. All right. So.
Yeah. Let's just move on. We're done now. That story needs no context. So
right,
I decided to do this thing where I don't know what got in my head, but yesterday in the afternoon, we'd been out and doing stuff, like I said, and so I came home to get a shower and I sat down and I was going to put my shoes on and, just kind of get ready for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And I went, well, I wonder what this process is like for blind people. So I closed my eyes for 15 minutes as an experiment.
Okay.
And I just said, all right, I'm going to close them tight, not going to cheat. And I'm going to put on socks. I'm going to try to figure out where I've set my shoes down and then put those on without looking, obviously, because, that's the whole point. And then I'm going to try to make my way out of this room and into the kitchen and do all this within about a 15-minute period just to have this, like, what's it like? Because I always think, like, can a blind person ever live alone? Because will they ever know that there's 15 spiders on the floor? No, because no one's there to tell them. You know what I mean?
Do they need to know that there's 15 spiders on the floor?
I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's bliss to never see the things that the rest of us freak out about. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I assume, and I know that there are certainly people in this world who are blind and who are very self-sufficient, live on their own.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When they're bumping around, when do they know it's time to clean? When do they know that the toilet's got a issue? Like, when do they know these things? And that's fascinating to me, and also I really respect it. It's amazing that people can adapt like that. So I just thought for 10-15 minutes I'm gonna be blind and see what it's like. And boy, I'm here to tell you, Brian, other than it kind of chilled me out, because part of it is my brain knows I'm not really blind, so I know this is all going to be over in a second.
Yeah.
But part of me was horrified. I didn't like it at all. I was like, well, wait, which lace is what? And then when I looked at my shoes later, they weren't quite right, and they're all Skewompus and everything. Now, I know, blind people have a lot of time to adjust and adapt, and they do. Yeah. I didn't afford myself that. I just gave myself 15 minutes. But I kind of recommend once in a while it's a great way of putting yourself in somebody's shoes that you just have zero idea how they live.
Yeah, because I can't imagine, I can imagine getting around my house. I know my house well enough that I know, where's this wall, where's this railing, where's the stairs, where's the door, all etc. Right. That part, no problem. But obviously, not having, I'd have to turn off some sort of assisted, haptic feedback on my computer, some sort of vocal, reading things that are on screen. I don't even know how I would set that up. So I'm amazed that at people who are blind, who are able to do this sort of thing, and they adapt, to this technology to get this information in a different way. I can't imagine using my computer or doing the things I do without any sort of
your normal every day just completely changes, about 380 million degrees difference. And I follow this dude on TikTok, and his name, I don't remember his name, but this guy on TikTok is blind. He makes TikToks about how he does stuff as a blind person. And he always starts his TikTok with, "I'm blind, here's how I read the paper." That's how he starts. So he always does, "I'm blind, here's how I do a thing," whatever it is. Yeah. I kind of love it. It's a great format. Anyway, that guy has some crazy stuff, like phone assist stuff. He snowboards, and he shows how he does it without running into anybody. He's got this Sonar crap, all this amazing stuff. Anyway, just wanted to share that. If any of you want to have a little experiment with yourself, see how you do as a blind person, just go 10 minutes. See what it's like.
Tina's grandfather was blind, and we were always fascinated by the things that he'd figured out either on his own or gotten from other blind people that he knew. But like folding, basically you fold your money differently for each bill. See, it's really easy in other countries where you have different sized bills, but basically he would fold his dollar bills in a certain way. He'd fold his fives in a certain way. And so when he got change, he'd say, all right, what did you give me here? Is this a 5 and these are 1s? You have to, of course, trust that they're telling you that they didn't just give you a stack of Monopoly money, but he would fold the 1s in a certain way. He'd fold the 5s, the 10s all differently. And so when he put them in his wallet, he could just say, oh, well, here's a $10 bill. And,
do you think the bank would have to like cross stack it or something to make things like if he was taking $100 out in cash?
Yeah.
How would they? Because they're going to go.
They'd probably hand him all the 20s first, and then say, here's all the 5s, here's all the 1s or something.
Oh, gotcha. Canadian bills have Braille, says the chat. That's cool.
Interesting. Does that rub down after years of use?
I think
is that what takes them out of circulation? Is
they still use, or they now use that polymer business, whereas the rest of us, I shouldn't say the rest of us, the U.S. still uses like a paper compound.
A linen mix.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's the difference. The polymer lets you have
nubbins.
Permanent nubbins, yeah. I don't know. That's fascinating. That's really cool. Accessibility with money. Who would have thunk?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not us, I guess.
Not us.
Not America.
Listen, I'm loving paperless society, so the more of that we get, fine with.
Yeah. I don't look. Once in a while, I'll have to have $1. Yeah, sometimes I'll take $1 or a 5 out of my wallet or something, and my brain just goes, Let's try to have a day without thinking about where all the places that $5 bill has been.
Let's try. Let's not be Scott Johnson for a day. Basically, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, try not to be like me, because I always think about how dirty money is and where it came from and where it's been. Yeah. Always like
how much cocaine is on that 20.
Yeah, somebody used that 20 to like roll it up and make a little nozzle snort for their nose and snorted coke off of it. As far as I know, I don't know.
A nozzle snort, yes.
Could have been up, but it's been in somebody's G-string, or it's been on the floor of a laundromat, or in the bathroom of a freaking bar. I don't know. It's gross. Money is gross.
Money's gross.
Yep. Venmo, baby. Venmo me some money, and then we can
Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, all that stuff.
All that stuff. All of it's good. All of it's proper societal progress. Okay, embrace it.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Now we'll do the morning form, and we will award a winner. For everybody who signed up for this thing.
Stand back and check your personal belongings. It's time for the morning form.
The last one we did last week was for the best Batman movie director. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, right.
Which basically also translates to who's the best Batman, sort of, or at least cinematic Batman.
I don't know. Okay. I mean, I feel like an argument could be made that Christian Bale was not the best Batman, though that series of movies were the best Batman films for me.
Who would you put in his? Who would you slot in if you could just take him
as
out?
As the best Batman?
Yeah. Other Batmans, like if you could.
Boy, I mean Val Kilmer. No. That's a really good question.
Kilmer was all right. That felt like a movie that could have. He wasn't. Yeah. I didn't feel like he was
outside of Joel Schumacher. That could have actually been done really well.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Conroy voice-wise, yeah, for sure. Because you need someone who's believable as the millionaire playboy, blah blah blah. I feel like even George Clooney in the right hands could have been a way better Batman. He's got the jaw. He's got the style that feels like, all right, this is a guy who grew up with wealth and.
Yeah, those movies had a Schumacher problem, not a Batman problem.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think, Affleck, not bad. Shoot, this is a good question.
Could have been okay.
I don't think Bale was the one I'd pick though. Maybe even Adam West, for Pete's sake.
Put Adam West in a Nolan movie. That's amazing.
No kidding. It would have been great if we could have, just to see how well that would have worked, right?
I would have been down with that.
I mean, obviously that means it has to lean heavily into the cheese, but
sure.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you like a little cheese,
Little cheese.
So our winner.
I'm glad you didn't ask that question because I'd have to spend a lot more time thinking about it.
Oh yeah, well I'm glad I didn't. Here's Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan ran away with the vote, 56.9% overall.
Yeah.
Second place, Tim Burton with 18.5, Matt Reeves at 8.3. Not a bad showing for Matt Reeves.
No.
Chris McKay somehow got 3.2% of the vote, and then it gets weird. Let me tell you some of the ones that people.
Yeah, I'd
wrote
love to
in.
know some of the write-in answers.
Someone wrote college humor. I don't know why. Is there a college humor Batman
because
joke?
I'm sure they've done their version of Batman. Sure.
Somebody submitted your mom.
Of course.
They're
probably the same person who does that for every feud for the survey that I do.
Yeah. Someone wrote Robert Pattinson, but he did not direct, so I don't know why they put that in there.
No. Okay.
Let's see. A lot of Bruce Timm references. Jay Oliva. I don't know who that is. DC AMU. Animated.
AMU. Oh, animated.
I assume so. That's what that means.
Okay.
They wrote in here Lego Batman, but they put Phil Lord and Christopher Miller for Lego Batman. They did not make that movie. That was a separate dude who made that. George Santos also in here. Truth-telling.
I heard that he directed
congressperson.
all the Batman movies.
Yeah, he's made them all.
Yeah.
Like, so you could say his name and he really mean everything.
And his Batman.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
And then my very favorite, I haven't seen any, is an option. How do you never see a Batman movie ever? Like ever?
I don't know. I get those responses on the feud surveys as well. Like, I have never watched an animated program. Like, what? What? Really? What?
Yeah. I want to meet these people and find out more.
Never played a tabletop game.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Explain
All right,
yourselves.
That's good.
So our winner today is Hushed Pixel.
Hushed Pixel.
Hushed Pixel. You're the winner. And if you want to send me an email, great. I'll send you one if I don't hear from you today. I got a busy day, so it'll be the end of the day. But if I hear from you first, we'll get you all set up and send out your Frog Pants Fun Pack right away. This week's morning form. Let me pull it up because I forgot to write it in the thing. How many hours do you spend a week playing video games?
Interesting. I like this. All right.
It's a fun one. Your options are not at all. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, all the way up to 9, and then 10 or more hours is an option, or other, which will be where you put the dumb answers. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. I have never played a game.
Yeah, exactly. What is video game? What is
Robert
video?
Pattinson.
That would be funny.
That would be funny.
Anyway, get in there and fill it out. frogpants.com/themorningform.
What, well, I'm sure it's average, 9 of 12. On average, how much?
Yeah, we're looking for average.
I game for exactly 6 hours and 22 minutes. Do you want me to round up to 7 or round down to 6? Because I have a little timer on my watch that goes off if I stray past that.
Oh man, if I did that myself, I'd play a lot less games. But this week is a bad week for this question because Diablo 4 comes out this week. And,
right, sure.
Well, early access to it does, I guess, for those who pre-ordered it, which you and I are those people. Anyway,
I think we are those people, yes.
So that's going to screw up everything for me because I'm going to play a lot of Diablo. Anyway, get in there, get it done. Brian, what happened? I heard you shot arrows at things. What happened there?
I did, yeah. So Tina and I had a mystery date last week, and my gosh.
Who was in charge? You or Tina?
Tina was. Tina planned this one, and holy cow, again, Tina knocks it out of the park with mystery dates. So she took me to an archery range, like this little unassuming little place in this industrial strip, not really strip mall, but like, these multiple industrial buildings all next to each other. And had no idea. I didn't know anything that was in this area, this part of town. But we pull up and it's like the Empty Quiver archery range. I'm like, oh, cool. Are we going to learn archery? She's like, yep. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's how I do the voice. So, oh my God, this was such a blast. So you walk in, they give you, they ask you if you're left or right-handed. You get protective gear, like a little leather thing for your bow arm, and then a little glove thing for your drawing the string back arm. These are all official terms, by the way. I learned all these official terms.
I used to know these. I don't remember any of this stuff. These names. Years ago, though.
The bracer. Thank you, Zoe.
Bracer.
Then Yeah, then the bow, left or right-handed, obviously. I mean, you could rent a compound bow, but that pretty much was the people who were regulars there who had a whole different set of targets they were aiming at on a different side of the building. Those guys all had the compound bows with this and that, and like the quiver built into their, strapped on and stuff like that. We had a PVC pipe coming up from the floor that we put our arrows in. And so we basically had to stand on the line, wait until everybody was there. And then they said, okay, you can now do your arrows. And so you pick up an arrow.
Yeah, you lock them.
It took 5 minutes of training, and we were there for an hour and a half probably right around an hour and a half. My God, that was so fun. I totally want to keep doing it. I want to do it again.
More bow. Maybe you'll become a bow hunter,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Brian the bow hunter. And I know exactly where I can get one of them on Core.
That's right. Bow hunting. Bow, you can have a 10-second start. Start running.
Watch
now.
out, bow. Yeah, I'll let you run now.
Yeah. The ultimate prey. No, that's cool. When I was young, when I say that, I guess I mean late teens, early 20s. I was super into bow stuff, and
really?
I got into
Archery,
and I got into like some of that compound bow stuff. I never wanted to spend the real money people were spending.
Wow. Yeah.
But I had a kind of entry level-y thing, and anyway, we thought that was pretty rad for a long time, and then I just suddenly stopped, and all this talk from you about it makes me want to go back and do it again because it's fun.
Oh my God! Find a local archery range. Seriously, it was like $25 for 2 hours of fun. It was just so fun. I managed to get one dead on bullseye. I took a picture of it. I'll put it somewhere. I haven't posted anywhere, but Tina and I took photos of each other firing our bows and stuff, like Katniss and Clint Barton.
Nice. Saving the world, man.
That's
cool.
Right, exactly.
Got to pull out the explosive
or
heads.
Kate Bishop and Clint Barton, or whoever.
Sure, whoever's got bows, let's do it.
She was more inspired by Katniss. I was like, so what made you think about this, or what? Why have you wanted to do this? She's like, I have, and she said, well, it's mostly because of Katniss Everdeen. Like, yeah, for me, it's right now Link.
Yeah, Link.
I want to put a spicy pepper and fuse it to my arrow so that I set the whole target on fire.
Yep, that's how you want to live your life. I get it.
Yes, exactly.
Salt Lakers, we got a Easton Salt Lake Archery Center, Timp Archers, and Datus are three of the more closer ones.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll check this
I'd
out.
even consider, like, if I can find a cheap bow somewhere, I would consider buying my own and setting up a little range in the backyard.
This is awesome.
Now that we don't have a dog back there that's going to potentially be in the line of fire.
Oh, what's wild is it's way up. That's way up past the airport? Really? Weird. All right, well, I shall consider it because that sounds like fun and you got me thinking about it again. So, well done.
Oh, my God, do it. You and Kim. Plan a little mystery date of your own with Kim and take her out. I
could do that. She'd have no idea this was coming. I would totally blow her mind with it.
Yeah,
I'm doing
for
it.
Sure. We also had another little date on Friday. This one she knew about. We went to Alamo Draft House again and saw the new live-action Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
And
I hear it's good. I heard things.
It's good, but Scott, did you know that they made the mermaid black?
What? Well, then I'm going to boycott Disney for it. I'm boycotting the entire entertainment business.
No, it was great. Oh my God, Halle Bailey, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Halle Bailey has this incredible voice, and she's got this kind of, like, her eyes are set apart, so she's got this kind of exotic pixie elf kind of look already, which is kind of perfect for a mermaid. But Melissa McCarthy was great as your Ursula. Daveed Diggs. I was wondering how they were going to do the animals that talk, because for Mulan, didn't they eliminate the Eddie Murphy dragon?
Yeah, they
deal?
got rid of the dragon in that.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't for this one, but because Sebastian was great, Daveed Diggs, who I think anytime Lin-Manuel Miranda is involved with something, and he wrote a couple new songs. Of course, there's a song with a rap in it.
Oh, sweet, a little bit of rapping.
Of course, a little bit of rap.
Hip hop.
But anytime. Oh, and Aquafina. If you don't like the Super Aquafina, maybe this is one to hold off on.
Who's she? What's her character? Who does she play? One
She's
of the sisters or something?
Scuttle, the seagull.
Okay. Oh man.
Yeah. So I mean, it is the perfect role for her, but you're going to get
Wow.
Akwabirdfina for sure. Javier Bardem.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask about that. How is that go? Does he ever make anybody flip a coin and just about shoot him in the head with a cow gun?
That's right. Yes, exactly. King Triton with a blowgun. It was really, really weird.
Excellent. That's great. I've heard really good things about it, so that surprised me. I thought we were heading toward a dumper on this one, but it sounds like it's actually pretty good.
No, really, really good, and I'm fully in, and I'm fully in on Alamo Drafthouse. I have zero things to complain about with Alamo Drafthouse. Even the one thing that I thought I would be irritated with is hey, guess what? Three quarters of the way through the movie, we're going to come by with your bill and have you sign it while you're trying to watch the most exciting part of the film.
Yeah.
They are so non-intrusive about that that I don't care. They, refill your drink. You just put it up on the thing. They're like, oh, let's get you some more. They don't even say anything because obviously that would be irritating.
Yeah.
They just go and get you more Diet Coke.
Yeah.
The food is freaking excellent. I had a Brussels sprouts pizza. That cauliflower crust Brussels sprouts pizza with bacon and goat cheese, I think.
Oh, all right.
My God, that was good. It was almost Clare worthy, except for the bacon. It was like a mix of the vegan Clare and the bacon Zoe. Is basically what it was.
Interesting.
We'll call it the Chloe.
All right. The Chloe.
The Chloe.
That's a great name for a sandwich, actually. I think it's all right.
Oh yeah, goat cheese probably also not super vegan. You got to use that that fake vegan cheese.
This Halle Bailey girl.
Yeah.
She has the thing that she's like Furiosa. What's her name? The can't think of her name.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, the Vivitch. They both have these eyes that are way out.
Yeah.
I want all of humanity to look like that. Because I think I think it is so much cooler looking than the boring freaking middle of the face eyes what the rest of us have. I think they have one up on us. I think it's rad.
Well,
looking.
I'm sure both of them will have lots of offers to create progeny that have the wine set eyes.
Well, good for them because I want to see more of that. I've never heard of this kid that plays Prince Eric, Jonah Hauer King. Is he any good?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just hired him because he's attractive and he can sing. That's really
that was on the resume. That's what you had to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Was he? Let's see. Has he been in anything else?
Little Women, the TV show.
Oh, he's been in Little Women.
Yeah, he's been in
but
Little Women.
But not the recent movie one. Dog's Way Home. So there's a movie I'm never going to see.
Yeah. Agatha and the Curse of Ishtar.
World on Fire. Oh, he was involved with the 2019 quote-unquote live-action Lion King.
Oh, what did he do there? I don't see him.
Sure he did. Let's see here.
Is that 2019?
Yes,
I don't see it. The only things he shows here are Dog's Way Home, A Song with Names, and Agatha and the Curse of Ishtar in 2019. I don't see anything else.
He did. It's funny because here he goes. It doesn't show what his voice was, but it shows him as part of the cast and just the Google.
So he's having a moment then, right now.
He's having a moment. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to him and her.
He could be your new singing action star, is what he can do. Yeah, I'm not sure because the Lion King cast that I'm looking at here lists Jeremy Irons, and I don't think he certainly wasn't the voice of Scar this time, so I don't know what his involvement. But this also lists Halle Bailey, Daveed Diggs, Awkwafina, Jacob Tremblay, who are all part of the Little Mermaid cast. So Google, I'm not sure about your results here.
Yeah, Google, go to sleep, you're drunk or something.
Right, exactly.
Yes. Nice. Well, it sounds like a fun weekend to me.
It was. It was a really good time. And then we did some Spider-Man trivia on Sunday. Went back to the Alamo Drafthouse. They had a Geeks Who Drink Spider-Man trivia event, and it's Geeks Who Drink, so really only 3 of the questions had anything to do with Spider-Man. The rest were Spider, Web, Gwen, Miles questions that had nothing to do with Spider-Man, but we still killed it in one.
Spider adjacent.
Spider adjacent. Yes.
Do they do that in the theater? So it's like the big screens up with the questions and all that?
No, they do it in the bar.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool, though, wouldn't it? Having a whole theater there for...
They did that for the MCU one, and they did put the questions up. They had the full lights on when we did the MCU one, 2019, 2018. We had to cluster in little groups around seats. And you don't want to sit lengthwise because then you're talking loud to the person 5 seats down from you. So we had to kind of cluster around little things of seats, but then they did the video around and all the questions were up on the screen, and that was really rad.
It sounds like a blast.
It was.
Well done, Alamo Drafthouse. You've brought new life to cinema and bartending. Well done. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of news today. It's important that we do our journalistic duty here on the show.
That's right.
So get ready for this. Yeah, that's right. It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by...
Get your daily dose of video game culture and news on Core Daily up at youtube.com/Scott Johnson. Everything from breaking news to discovering a weird new indie title. Get your daily Core at Core Daily. Also in audio form with details at frogpants.com/ you guessed it, Core.
Nice. Yeah, do check it out. Got a new one going right up after the show today, so that'll be
cool.
fun.
I love that I saw Bose last week about hard mode, or what was it called? Hardcore WoW.
Hardcore WoW, yeah. It's basically just the short of that is so weird. It's classic WoW, so you got to play the classic servers, not the retail. And then somebody made a set of mods or add-ons for the game that mimic what it would be like if the game actually natively supported hardcore mode, which means you die, you're dead.
Yeah.
And so it's blowing up. Like, it's gotten huge over there.
That's cool. Do they do it like No Man's Sky, where once you die, you have to make your way back to where you died and pick up all of your stuff?
No, you're just straight up dead.
You're starting over. You're basically like,
your character is now part of the mod supports this thing where it puts like every day they add people to this grave list, this list of like fallen heroes. But it's really intense because now you can no longer just saunter into a place and go, whoops, I didn't mean to die that quick.
Yeah.
Now you got to really
Let me
think
pull
about
all of
it.
these mobs because I need 18 wolf tails.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can take 18 of these at one time. Nope, can't.
Yeah. And you're doing it classic era, which means everything's harder anyway, and there's not like quick shortcuts around everything. It just doesn't work that way. So
does it use? It still uses the current WoW I've never looked at the WoW vanilla servers. Do they have the old style interface?
Yes.
Of like
it's all the
your
old
backpack
stuff
and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything about it is old. That's why I can't play it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Nope. Thanks. Nope.
I would love here. So I have a theory about this. I talked about it on Core a little bit, but I think like when Dota happened, which was a mod to Warcraft 3, there was a feeling, you could feel that was about to explode out, and Blizzard kind of missed the boat on it, and they didn't capitalize on it. And so instead, the people who made that mod left, and then you ended up with things like League of Legends and then Riot Games, and that's a multi-billion-dollar corporation now. And like Blizzard missed the boat on it, but basically that mod spawned an entire genre, right? I feel like this weird, hardcore, survival-y business in an MMO style game, if Blizzard doesn't take advantage of it, they're stupid, and they might be. But what will happen is somebody will, like the guys working on this, will just spin out and do their own game and suddenly rule the world again. Like this is one of those, it feels like one of those moments. I can just tell something's going on. But yeah, it's not for me and you because I don't want to go play classic WoW. Freaking, I need the new UI and everything.
There are reasons that those are UI improvements.
And not even just that. I want my character not to look like shit. I want trees to be more than 2 polygons. Like I have standards, damn it.
For sure.
All right, let's do this story about Bobby. This is not our Bobby, different Bobby.
Oh, okay. All right.
The world's oldest dog.
There are other Bobbies. Wow.
There are more Bobbies than this. This is mine, but there are more like him.
There are many like it.
Yeah,
but this one is
this
mine.
Bobby is mine. The world's oldest dog, named Bobby, B-O-B-I, celebrated its 31st birthday. 31 years.
Wow.
That seems too long. Poor dog.
They're little, Well, I don't know what kind of dog this is, actually. Just know that it's
it tells
Portuguese.
us. Where did it go? It showed us in. Oh, maybe I didn't copy that part. I did read.
But usually, small dogs live longer than large dogs.
And he's a big boy. He's like a.
Oh, he is a big. Who's a big boy?
He's a big boy.
He is a big. He is a big boy, and he doesn't.
And they don't say the breed.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't say the breed, but anyway, he looks like he's in pretty good shape, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he's
like
a Portuguese
part lab,
pooch.
maybe.
He was declared the world's oldest dog by the Guinness Book of World Records in February. Celebrated his 31st birthday on Thursday. And Bobby's family's planned a Saturday birthday event at his home in Conciertos. Oh.
Let me pull back. I was looking at the dog. Look at pictures of the puppy. Conquieros.
Conquieros. There's a Q in there. A rural village in southern Portugal. His owner, Lionel Costa, told the Guinness Book of World Records that it is a very traditional Portuguese party. Over 100 people are set to attend, and a dance troupe are set to perform.
Love it. That's what I want for a birthday party. Thank you.
So I have to think, has the dog changed hands? Or was this guy...
Is this the original owner?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you don't usually do that. It's not usually that much time that you get to have a dog that long. And so did a parent have it first, or was he a little tiny kid and now he's just older?
Sure. Certainly could have been. Yeah, that's... they don't mention that at all. We don't know the story of Bobby or Bobby.
Bobby. Yeah, maybe it is Bobby. It's Portuguese. Who knows? But look at him. He's all like... look at him. He's fine. He's doing good.
Yeah.
Best I can tell, this dog is healthy and happy. Here, let me skip ahead. There's video here, I think. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Nope. Never mind.
What dog breed is Bobby? Bobby is a purebred Rafiero do Alentejo, a breed of Portuguese dog trained to guard livestock.
Oh my gosh. The livestock
So
live less time.
He's a working dog.
That's right. He's seen a lot of cows in his time.
That's right.
Here's a story about cement. Oh, it's senior prank weeks here these last couple of weeks.
Sure, of course, yes.
I think we talked about one last week.
We did. And kids just showing up to the other school and how, okay, I know it's a security issue, but they were like threatened with dismemberment, it felt like.
Yeah, that was a little harsh.
Yeah. It's like, nope, sorry, we can't let you do this. We're going to drive you back to your other school. Nope.
Maybe it's just like
you're going to jail, kids.
I think it's because we live in this era of like, classrooms getting shot up all the time. Yeah, everyone's just ultra careful, I guess. I don't know.
And we need to be because of that sort of thing. It's just a bummer.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Well, here's a story that's a little less. Well, it's equally as stupid from the student's point of view, but it's a little less controversial. Students pour cement into toilets in a North Carolina high school, according to the district. North Carolina district is investigating a senior prank at the Williams High School in Burlington, which caused over $4,000 in damages. The school system says students gained entry overnight and poured cement into the toilets and urinals. Did you have to do the urinals?
Oh, man. Well, in any of it, really. But yeah, into the urinals, which, I mean, basically you just have to pull out the pipes and the fixtures and redo everything.
Yeah, which $4,000 actually seems like
it kind of seems cheap for all that, right?
Yeah, that seems low. For me to just get my cabinets done is like $7,000. And I don't want to do that either.
Right.
Let's see. The system says Williams, the school, was not its only school that suffered damages. Maintenance crews are cleaning up overturned desks, damaged lockers, graffiti, eggs, and trash. At several other high schools, other acts of vandalism are also reported across the district. Quote, "We believe in celebrating milestones in a responsible and respectful way without crossing the line and causing harm or damage," they said in a statement. District says students involved in the vandalism face potential suspensions and legal charges. Any seniors that were involved will be forbidden from participating in graduation ceremonies.
Listen, all right, kids, if you're listening, here's a recommendation for a non-destructive senior prank. All right?
Go.
All right, here's what you do. You go to your local hardware store, your Home Depot, your Lowe's, whatever you got, and in the furniture pad section, you'll find these little things you can put on the bottom of your desks and your chairs that make them slide around very easily. It's like for helping people move large pieces of furniture. You put these things on.
Little hard plastic, little compound plastic
exactly.
balls.
Yes, exactly. Makes them a lot easier. So you put those at the bottom of your desks.
Yeah.
Not casters. You want full on wheels. I mean, you could, but and what you do is and when you can, you put them on the bottom of your chairs and your desks, and then when the teacher's up at the front, you sit perfectly still, and when they turn their back, you slide forward a couple inches, and then when they turn around, you sit perfectly still, and then when they turn their back again, you slide forward a couple inches. So after 40 minutes of class or 35 minutes of class, you're right up at their desk. That's what you do. There's your non-destructive your non-destructive.
That's a free one, you guys. A free one. That's not even a patron level. Yeah, just take it.
Yeah.
Take it and use it. Here's the thing, though. Like, I know, like this is like shark bites. When there's a bunch of reports of a thing that people don't hear about all the time.
Sure.
People are like, why is this on the rise? What's going on with the kids today? What's wrong with the graduating class of America? It's not that. Yeah. Kids always do this. We're just reporting it.
Yes.
They've been doing it since forever.
These are freaking destructive.
These are horrible.
It's like promposals, how they've had to like up the ante every single time. Oh, here's a promposal that I did with a skywriter.
Yeah.
Icor says that doesn't get views on TikTok. All right, so maybe not as much as destroying the urinal, but I'll bet you if somebody, I would watch it on TikTok. If somebody said, hey, we did a video where we did this thing where we all slide forward when the teacher had their back turned, I would totally watch that. I'd love to see the.
Absolutely, I would. Yeah, more than just seeing cement being poured in a toilet. Who cares? That's boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, some people will say, well, Scott, your thing with the beach in the hallway, all that sand, that was probably destructive and cost money. I don't think so. And they let us go to graduation. Like, it wasn't as big a deal as this was.
Sand, I hate sand. Sand gets in everything.
Gets in everything, man. I don't know why Anakin says "man" at the end of his thing. But
I know, exactly. Anakin, man.
Hey, man. All right, so that's the thing. Finally, here's a story.
My name is Anakin, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I remember when we used to do pod racing.
That's right.
We'd get out there in our pod racers, and then I can't remember the damn. What was the kid? Sebulba, and then Sebulba.
Yeah. Then he came and knocked me out of the
way. He beat
way.
us all.
I don't know. We're going full.
My mom was a slave to a guy that sounded like an Italian stereotype.
And now we've gone full Nick Cage again.
Circle back to Nick Cage.
Yeah. That's always what you do. India in the news real quick. An official in India, so like an elected, big shot in the government,
drained. Explaining officials.
Yeah, you bet. They drained. I'll look that one up too. Just kidding.
Right, they took all the water out of something.
Yeah, they took all the water out of something. They drained an entire dam to retrieve a phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it took 3 days to pump millions of liters of water out of the dam after Rajesh Vishwas is the closest I'm ever going to get to that name.
I think that's actually probably pretty close.
Rajesh Vishwas.
Yeah.
He dropped his device while taking a selfie. Let me take a selfie. By the time it was found, the phone was too waterlogged to work. So even after all of this,
yeah. I mean,
he's a dummy.
By the time he came up with the idea to drain the dam, the phone was too waterlogged to work.
Mr. Vishwash claimed to contain sensitive government data and needed retrieving, but he has been accused of misusing his position. The food inspector, he's in charge of that stuff. He's like FDA guy. Dropped his Samsung phone worth about $1,200 or 100,000 rupees. Take that, Link and Zelda.
Sure,
it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And into the Kurkata Dam in the central Indian state of. Well, there are too many H's in that.
Good luck with that one.
Chhattisgarh.
I think Chhattisgarh. Yeah.
Look at those two H's just hanging out like
that's
normal.
Like two H's, two T's. How come there aren't two R's at the end? It should be, right?
Yeah.
Chhattisgarh.
No kidding. Take that, Mississippi. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Anyway, after local divers failed to find it, he paid for a diesel pump to be brought in. He said in a video statement, he got verbal permission from an official to drain some of the water in the nearby canal. But he ended up doing the whole thing. It took days and days and days. 440,000 gallons of water. Enough to irrigate 6 square kilometers or 600 hectares hectares
God.
of farmland. Wow.
Hope he didn't flood the farmland to retrieve this phone. Like how many? Like what are the repercussions that have come from this whole thing?
Yeah, no kidding.
And is that now that it's an empty reservoir, is that going to be bad? Come a month from now?
It seems bad. It seems like a huge waste. Yeah, massive waste. And look, your phone was going to get wrecked, so you should have just let it go.
Yeah.
Secondly, what possibly could the chief food inspector have on his phone?
Right, exactly.
Right?
Hopefully expiration dates for yogurt soda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we didn't get that here.
Yeah,
when
somebody missed that memo.
Jerks.
Hammond Chamberlain giving us spoiled yogurt soda. He still denies that it was spoiled. He says it's always like that. I disagree. The three of us that drank from that bottle, you, me, and Nicole, all got sick.
Yeah, everybody else was fine.
The other end of the table, totally fine.
Yeah, he didn't taste it. He doesn't know. It was bad, Hammond.
Know.
Yeah, Hammond, if you're listening,
warm.
and I know you're not, it was warm. It was gross. It tasted like cheese. I'll never do it again.
It was so bad.
I will never do it again, ever, especially in a public setting. I will never do that again.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you bring me a fresh donut and some Clamato like Tom did, that's fine. Those are fresh. I get it. They haven't gone south.
And I'll do that. I may not dunk my donut into the Clamato, but I'll still have the Clamato.
That's right. Grow a better stomach, says Claire. Listen, Claire.
Okay, Claire.
If you'd have tasted it, you wouldn't have been happy either.
Yeah, no, you would have been. I don't know what the Irish word for puke is. Boot.
Yeah,
you'd boot all over the place.
You'd boot all over the place. Plus, listen, it's got milk product in it. It's yogurt,
and it was unrefrigerated.
Yeah, and you're a vegan, so knock it off. You wouldn't drink that.
Spew. Okay, well we use spew.
Boke.
Boke
is cool.
Boke is cool. Boke.
Oh, I think I'm gonna boke. It's not bad. Ripley boked this morning. She got so nervous, so I went out.
She must hate you.
It wasn't me. So I took Rainer for a walk, and it made Ripley very jealous. All right, but partly the reason I didn't take Ripley's really big and strong and is not very good at walks yet. Carter needs to work on that. So I take Rainer out, do a half hour on the lake. I come home. And Ripley just standing at the door going, just like nervous.
How dare you?
How dare you do this? And then she ran immediately to the door, looked at it, and then I was like, uh-oh, what does this mean? Opened the door, she went outside, and immediately and boked all over the place.
Good that she did it outside.
Yeah, but it's just her nerves. It's nothing to do with anything else. She just was nervous. Nervous rhyme or Reiner.
Yeah, nervous tummy.
That's what you get. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from this break, we'll spend some time with Bill Duran. We'll spend some time with Bobby Frankenberger. And then we got a phone call after that. So a bunch of fun stuff coming up after this song. Brian, what did you bring today?
Yeah, so this is a new version of a song that this band originally released. The band is called Junip. And they, Jose Gonzalez is involved with this band. It's Jose Gonzalez, Tobias Winterkorn, and Elias Araya. Even though they've been on hiatus since 2015, they've taken one of their old songs and re-released it with added vocals from Sharon Van Etten. Love Sharon. Her vocals are great. Got a lot of covers featuring Sharon's music or Sharon's voice on them. What's cool about this is it totally reinvents the song, even though it's just the addition of vocals or addition of Sharon's vocals. I listened to the original, I was like, oh wow, they totally improved it. This is all part of a soundtrack to a brand new National Geographic documentary called Wildlife. Not to be confused with the song by INXS. This is a single released just this last week. Here is Junip featuring Sharon Van Etten and Line of Fire.
His yarn antenna on the counterfeit are about half the thickness so that they droop down across his face.
You see the size of that chicken?
Welcome back from the song break, everybody. Who was that one more time?
That is Junip featuring Sharon Van Etten and a new version of their song, Line of Fire.
That sounds great.
It's so good. He's so good.
But I'm live here. I have to say, that was a very good song. But I actually will hear it after the show, and then I will also probably like it.
You'll enjoy it after the end when you listen to it.
Yeah, you never send me crap, so
I
feel
don't.
like
That's part of my deal.
it's your creed, really.
It's my creed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Here. Oh, that's not Creed. All right, we are gonna get who? Bill. Bill's who? Bill's in
Bill.
here. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a good dude. You like
Ooh, I
him.
want to ask Bill if he's ever 3D printed with wood.
I'll bet he. Let's take bets. I
That's a
say
good
he
question.
has. What do you
I
think?
would actually say he has as well.
All right, we're gonna both see. We're gonna see if we're
I'll
both
take
right.
the flip side just to make the bet interesting.
All right, here we go. Let's get Bill in here and check our bet. Hold on.
There's still something wrong, isn't there, Bill?
Hey, Bill, what's going on? Welcome back to the show. How the heck are you?
Hello, mic check.
Mic check.
Yeah,
check,
we
check.
can hear you just
Yep,
fine.
totally hear you this week.
Perfect.
You're good. Hey, real quick, settle this bet for us. Have you ever printed wood filament before? It's like a mix of some.
No. I got some, though. I have some in the basement right now.
Damn it, Brian,
that
you
I
won the
just
bet.
got.
Brian won the bet.
Wasn't
Nice
even
job.
trying to win the bet, and
Yeah.
I won the bet. Yeah, I printed out some wood panels. They're fake-looking wood panels, and they look great. I don't know if you can see the stream right now,
I can.
but they look really, really good, and they have they have a texture like wood. They also break really easily. Like I could bend this and snap it right in half.
Interesting.
Because of the sawdust content. But I want to stain and seal this. Would you just recommend a standard like stain and polyurethane, or?
Oh, I guess if it's
What
just
would- what
wood,
would you
it'd be
do?
fine,
That's
right?
what I would try. I would.
Yeah.
I have stain. I have. Yeah, it's exactly it. Stain and then polyurethane. I'm
Okay.
curious how it sands too.
It sounds really well. You don't want
Yeah.
to use a heavy grit though. You want to
All
go like start with nothing lower than 300, 2 or 300, and then
Perfect.
yeah.
If you had to
And then
guess
go
on
on.
percentage, what is the percentage of filament versus wood
I think it's 60-40. 60% filament, 40% wood sawdust.
that's a lot
Well,
more
this
than
is
I thought.
terrific,
Oh, And
Brian.
it
You
smells
can.
amazing when you print it. By the way, it
Ooh,
still
Really?
smells.
good.
Oh my gosh! Finally, something you can 3D print that doesn't make you want to faint or
Yeah,
die.
no, it smells like you're like you're roasting wood, because you are.
Weird.
We
Bill,
so yeah, I have a roll waiting to work, but I'm glad you're doing the trailblazing.
Yeah,
and I'll have
yeah.
to.
I'll keep you
Hear what-
posted. I'll
Yeah,
do some
exactly.
video of what I do. Yeah.
and your
Terrific.
nozzle's not misbehaving or acting weird about it, or any
No,
of that?
I have a 0.6 nozzle, and I remember I have this roll because it initially clogged the Ender printer that I had that had a 0.4 nozzle on it, and I didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh, I could try using the wood on the new 0.6 nozzle I put on there. Works like a dream. Like,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
I'll have to
Beautifully-
keep that in
beautifully
mind
printed.
because
Yeah.
I have a 0.4 nozzle that came on mine,
Okay.
but I also have a lathe and I can make that nozzle any size I want. So if I need
Well,
a
you
bigger
can
one,
also you can buy a nozzle, like you can buy a set of
I guess
nozzles for
so.
under $10 or $12. I know you wanna use your lathe, but that way you'll still have your 4. You won't
That's
bore
true.
out your 4 into a 6 and then not have a 4 anymore.
Yeah.
there you go.
You don't have to bore anymore.
No.
No,
All right, bore anymore. Well, awesome. Let's dive into whatever we're doing today. Bill, what'd you bring with
Sure.
you? You maker extraordinaire, you.
yeah, I want to talk about drawing blueprints and schematics.
All right.
The technical term being drafting.
Yeah.
So I've actually been drawing a lot of little blueprints recently because I've been getting a lot of practice on my lathe. I put a video up on Twitter recently. I made some brass knobs to fancy up some screws on my drill press or bandsaw, and even for a tiny, easy little project, it makes sense to draw it first, draft it first. The idea being you want to know the shape of the thing you're making, and then you want to know the size of the thing you're making and the size of all the features and where they're located. I don't sit down at a drafting table with a piece of vellum and a T-square. I could, but for a lot of the things I'm making, a rudimentary drawing is really all you need. So I'll just sketch a thing out on a piece of notebook paper and figure out all the little dimensions there. And then when I go to the lathe, I basically have a set of instructions for myself. You do all the thinking when you're making the drawing, and then the execution comes later. When I talk about drafting, I'm talking about like 1 or 2 views of the object, an orthographic projection, so it's not a perspective drawing,
Right.
although that can be useful as well.
Sure.
Oh, there you got Benny up there with his AMBOM rifle.
Yeah,
That's
he's the
exactly
first
it.
one that came up, and he's got he's literally making a side view thing of and you know, as you've described. What'd you call it? What'd you call it? What was the
Orthographic projection?
Orthographic. Why do I never remember that? I swear, my teacher. I have a teacher in high school that punched me in the arm right now for not remembering.
I had Mr. Lynch. He was my drafting teacher in high school. So yeah, the goal is to understand the size and shape of the thing you're making. I had the incredible good fortune when I was in high school. They still taught how to do this stuff by hand. Also, my mom taught. She was an art teacher. She's retired now, but she taught design and drawing for production. And so I got some of that from her. I also helped her grade some of her students' drawings, and I was ruthless. But yeah, we had a drafting room in my high school. Drafting tables, pencil, paper, T-square, triangles, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
And I took every technical drawing class and every architectural drawing class that we had. And then the next year, I think my senior year, so it would have been 1999, that room vanished and it was replaced by a room full of computers, and we got to learn CAD. So I feel like I had a really great opportunity to learn both worlds, get a foot in each world, and learn just a lot of really useful technical skills. It's useful because and again, you don't have to be a professional, you don't have to go off way off the deep end. Even just a basic understanding of how drafting works can be super, super useful, especially if the thing you're trying to make is something you have to describe to another human being. The technical drawing is the way you take an idea from your brain and put it into someone else's brain if they have to make the thing that you're making.
Right.
So if you're on a team or you're working with other makers, it's super, super useful to be able to sketch up a little drawing and hand it to someone, and when they look at it, they know exactly what you mean. You don't have to use words.
And try and figure out your Stonehenge is supposed to be 6 feet tall and not 6 inches tall.
Yeah.
Make sure you
Scale.
Make sure you put actually accurate markers on there. Yes.
That's
Get
great.
your it's not a ruler. the triangular shaped ruler, it's actually a scale. That's for I know it looks like it's meant for measuring inches because it says inches on there. It's used for straight edges, but no. That's for measuring scale. I have one. I'm looking at mine right now. I have it right there.
So this might be a dumb question, but do you take any of these 2D drawings and then extrude them and create 3D models from them? Like they basically end up being your sketch lines for your final 3D work?
That's exactly what it is. So if you're working in Fusion 360 and you're drawing a sketch, you're drawing a 2D orthographic projection of a feature of the thing you're trying to make. And then you can use that drawing to do a number of operations to create a three-dimensional object. But that's exactly what it is. And you don't always need like front, top, side. Depending on the thing that you're making, you may only need one view or 2 views to figure it out. But you do have to draw as many views as you would need to, again, be able to hand that piece of paper to someone else and they have all the information they need. So sometimes in Fusion, that's what you'll do. You'll draw the side view, you'll extrude that, and then you'll go to the top and draw the features on the top and extrude those through the object you just made. The hand-drawn drafting transfers directly over to using CAD. Super, super useful.
Very, very cool.
It's cool.
The sort of thing where next time you got to make a little thing, even if you're going to do it in CAD, it kind of makes sense to just sketch it out on by hand ahead of time. It's also fun. It's fun to get pencil and paper out again and get your hands a little dirty.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned Fusion 360. Is that the one you mentioned? Are there any alternatives out there that people could dabble with, or is that still just like go straight to that?
That's still free if you do a student license, or not student, but I mean just basically say you're
you're just
hobbyist
tinkering.
license,
right? Like a personal license. Yeah.
There's a ton of other ones out there. So OpenSCAD, I believe, is free. There's a bunch. If you look up
Fusion
free
or not
CAD,
Fusion, what's the other one that's made by Ultimaker? That I think is even web-based, and it's really, really easy to use.
Yeah, I'm completely blanking
Something
on
123.
123D Design actually got sunsetted. That's not around anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
But But I know OpenSCAD is, or Onshape was the other one I was thinking about. There we go.
Oh, very cool.
And I believe Onshape is over the web. If I look, which is pretty neat. You can load it up on any web browser, and then you've got all your designs right there, which I think is pretty neat.
Oh,
but I haven't played with that one yet. I've been mostly sticking with Fusion lately.
Well, there you go. Some of the tools of the trade, everybody who want to dabble and check out some of this stuff. Do like Bill and try these pieces of software and learn for yourselves.
Yeah.
Bill, you always bring a little something extra with you, a little bag of, a little surprise or something.
So,
what do you got?
Oh, cool.
One of my new favorite YouTube channels, Inheritance Machining. This guy machines stuff out of metal in his machine shop. But he does hand draft all of his projects, and he does a real bang up job too. Like sits down at the drafting table and perfectly draws out the whole thing. And he did a video on hand drafting. It's kind of what reminded me of that to do this this whole segment today.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
it's really good. He's got a wonderful dry wit. He's an engineer and machinist, and his drawings are really good.
I remember doing this. I loved my drafting class. God, even doing the lettering, that like, oh my God, it's such a lost art, that the lettering style stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like basically where you say, okay, here's this view, and then I'm going to draw this line straight across, and that's going to make the top line of my top view, and basically take all those things all the way through. I put in our Discord, by the way, a recent thing I hand drew for this lightsaber.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Made.
That's great. Dude.
Oh yeah, we got a perspective view. We've got the front and side view.
Front and side, darn right, and some measurements to know exactly how big the LED is that I'm working with.
I love it.
And that's what I'm talking about too. Like that may be all the information you need. It doesn't have to be as fancy as Brandon here in his fancy drafting table.
My God, it's cool though.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, exactly.
I still have this drawing my dad did back in late '80s, or right before his video game business crashed and the whole arcade market took a dive for a while. So it never came to fruition. But he has an old drawing. I got to find it, and it looks. Brian's reminds me of this. It looks just like the sketchbook, and even a similar drawing style, to be honest. But he drew what he thought was a brand new idea, and it was at the time, but it was like a roll cage game machine that you could like sit inside of. It would kind of close up and you'd play. And nobody was doing anything like that. And then everything fell out from underneath it. Business went away, didn't happen. And like a year and a half later, I think it was Sega with like Afterburner or something, which had this roll cage, get inside, do the thing. He was very sad. But
I'm sure, yeah.
But that drawing is like, I don't know where I put it. I got to find it. But that is one of my favorite things I ever.
Oh my God, you should have that framed.
I know.
Yeah.
I really should before it starts to crap out because it's old.
Yep.
Anyway, well, this is great. As always, punishedprops.com if you're looking for the latest from Bill. And always a great place to be. Of course, sub to his channel on YouTube as well while you're at it. Bill, have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you. See ya.
See you, Bill.
All right. Bill's gone. But that
there's just something zen even too about watching this guy do his drafting. I keep fast forwarding to all the sections of this video where he's doing the drafting, and that I love that arm that has the vertical and horizontal rulers on it that always stays upright. Unless you hit a button and turn it 45 degrees or something.
Yeah, those are cool. Oh, yeah, that stuff is cool.
My God, I loved that stuff.
I used to think that was great. It feels like so much of that is now being done with computers, but it was such a rad thing. Our school had one too, and I loved it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to... I wonder if I still have any of my old drafting that I did in college.
You probably have it somewhere, right?
I dabbled with drafting.
You a little dabbling. Yeah. Experimented,
did a little dabbling.
You were doing a little self-exploration. You were trying to find your way. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
I see how it is. All right. We're going to get Bobby in. We're going to do some scientific discussion with him.
Science!
Bob is hungry, and the soup looks good.
Well, he should eat it then. Bobby Frankenberger joining us all the way from South Carolina, just south of where they filled toilets full of cement. Do you do anything weird like that in high school, Bobby, where you thought, we're out of here, I'm going to sabotage the school's lunch lady or something or whatever?
I did not, but there was a similar prank at our senior prank that was executed by other people to yours, the sand thing. They built a little beach in like the big common area.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So we weren't as original.
You're
as we
not
thought.
the only one.
Or maybe we did it first, and then this
you
bled
inspired.
through. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
sure.
a decade and a half later, it's like I heard
That
tale.
is true. It was the committee that convened for this. Looked through the annals of high school prank history, and we found some great things in Utah.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Great things. Hey, so it's nice to have you here. I hope you had a good Memorial Day and all that.
It was good.
Yeah?
I always forget that it's Memorial Day until I inevitably am grocery shopping on Memorial Day.
Oh no, yeah, and it's a complete and total madhouse.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
a nightmare.
Yeah, real bad.
You pull into the parking lot and there are no parking spots, and then you're like, oh yeah,
Oof.
crap.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm very excited that you're here and that you made it through your weekend, bearing some sort of scientific topic that you have right now.
Sure.
What do you have? What are we doing?
So I have a question to start off with, which is today I want to talk about AI a little bit. What kind of things do you guys use AI for? Just like where we are, it's a brave new world in AI, and we're trying to figure it out. But lately, like, what are you using AI for?
Well, the genie, of course, out of the bottle on AI. It's here to stay. So how are we using it?
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not asking the question of are you, because that's we're past that. Like, what are you using? it
Okay,
for?
so I use Chat GPT for a few things, mostly like templates for certain kinds of responses. So I get a lot of people like, hey, I want to join your network. I got a podcast. It's all about chickens. Can I come on there and put a show on? Like that kind of thing.
You ask ChatGPT, how can I let this person down without sounding like a dick?
Kind of that. Kind of. Like basically I want a short, succinct, but nice reply. And I thought, well, how is this thing going to do that? And it did a really good job on one of them. So I kept it, and then I thought, well, I'll do this for a few of these kinds of responses. So I've got a few canned email responses that I had to do recently.
Yeah.
I used it for to touch up my Kickstarter introduction paragraph for
That's
my
awesome.
recent game. Basically, I wrote it, and then I said, maybe this reads okay. I sent it to two people who said, who were quote unquote editors, and they liked it. But I was like, just what would this say? So I fed it in there and just said, hey, if you were to touch this up, what would you change? And it just tweaked a few, a grammar here, a little word here, whatever. And I liked it better. And I was like, all right, I'm putting it in there. So that's mainly been it. You'd think, hey, Scott does so much crap with the art and the whatnot. He probably uses some, art generator or has been messing with this generative fill thing from Photoshop or whatever.
Sure.
None of that. Really at all. I don't.
Well, and to seriously talk about that, because I know a lot of people have issues with the art AI stuff. You included. You've had definitely expressed issues with that before, but you probably just haven't found with what it might be good for. You probably just haven't found a place for it in your workflow yet.
Yeah, well, no, that's true. Like that's the other thing is some of the audio stuff I've used here and there.
Yeah.
Nothing too serious, but like little blips and bobs. But as far as like anything yet that is like crucial to my daily output, I don't really have anything that I'm using yet for that.
Right.
Brian, how about you? Are you?
What about you, Brian?
I've been using it even less. Like I've used the drawing stuff a handful of times. Like basically for our trivia team, I said, all right, let's do Mothra playing trivia in a bar, and it generated a picture of like the Godzilla monster, because our team name is always some form of Mothra.
Yeah.
But Scott sent me this thing this weekend that takes album covers and uses Photoshop's new what's it called, background aware thing to extrapolate what the rest of that world would look like around that album cover.
Yeah.
And it does some absolutely incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, that one of the Doors where it's just Jim Morrison with his arms out, just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one famous shot of him. The generative fill, when you zoom it all out, he's a boxer. He's got like gloves way out here, and he's wearing, and it all looks natural, like he was out boxing. And it's crazy.
So
like that tech is really, really insane.
Cool.
But I'm trying to think of how I might use it. And honestly, it's hard for me to think of a situation where I would, because mostly it's just like a bit of a lark right now. People are like, well, what's behind the Mona Lisa? Or what?
It's all novelty. Yeah, it's all novelty.
And that's my only problem with a lot of that
That's the thing.
stuff.
You haven't found the specific use case, but that's where I think a lot of usefulness of AI is going to be, is in specific use cases that people doing specific things are going to find it very useful for, and that's where we're going to go with that. But I got another question for you, and then we'll go into what the science news is that I have, which is, do you think AI, especially Scott, with how you were describing like AI, the more of the language models, do you think AI is influencing the way that you think?
No, it's influencing the way I see the marketplace and its effect on it, but not the way I think. Like, I don't, like, here's the problem. One of the problems with AI, and I'll tell you what, I am really tired of what I would call AI bros. Yeah. These guys that get on Twitter. These guys that get on Twitter, and there's like, recently there was this fake generated two talking heads. One is supposed to be Bill Gates and the other one's supposed to be Socrates or something. And they made a whole podcast, quote unquote podcast length thing. It was like a half an hour of Bill Gates and him talking back and forth. And the way that these guys pitch this stuff is they come on Twitter and go, "This changes everything. Total complete. You won't believe what you're about to hear. Can you remember?" And they go nuts about it. And all I really saw was a kind of a bad deep fake that didn't look all that convincing, and a conversation I wouldn't want to hear, because it's not interesting to hear two robots respond to each other. It's interesting to have the human element involved. And so whenever somebody says, here's a thing that may help us do this, and the human element is still not only there, but kind of front and center and is being assisted by this, that is exciting to me. That's interesting to me. What is not interesting to me are these guys that are constantly going, "Game changer, check this out. You'll never need to do burp, 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 burp ever again. This is the most realistic thing." And I'm like, that looks like utter shit. Right. What are you saying to me? Like, how can you see that and say that? And then their answer is always, well, it's just going to get better. No, I know. I understand. Like, I think, for example, there's Epic, I think, showed it off, or NVIDIA. I think it was NVIDIA. Showed off in a demo the other day. And basically, the demo was a guy walking into what looked kind of like a cyberpunk bar. First person, walked in there, sat down, talked to an NPC, and did it with his voice. And the NPC responded like ChatGPT would. It's literally what it is, a large language model responder with some limitations, saying back whatever he wants to hear. This guy has a problem. He wants me to solve it. I need to ask what the problem is and then say, what can I do to help? You know, these kind of interactions. It's very stiff and stilted, but very much can I see that being a thing. That's absolutely a place we're headed for that. Or even just image generation in a video game. You know, you've seen some of this AI generation that's actually video, not just a static image, but like really trippy, morphy looking stuff. Somebody's going to harness that in games or a film or something, and they're going to make something truly unique. But all of these still have human interaction up front. Right. It's the stuff where they claim, we'll never even need another television show. Just be these two robot heads talking. It'll be just as good as... No, it won't. It'll be garbage. It'll be garbage.
Well, people are forgetting that this kind of stuff is made by humans, and it needs to be made and programmed by humans, and that's kind of segues into what this experiment was about, right? Yeah. So, there's a doctoral student at Cornell University called Maurice Jakesh who has already done an experiment to test whether or not an AI writing assistant can influence our writing down to the level of affecting what the very thesis of our writing is, and not just like as in influencing the way we construct a thesis, not just the way we construct it, but what the thesis is, like actually changing our minds in subtle ways that we're not introducing bias into our thinking without us realizing it. Right. So we've known for a while that algorithms in computer programs can be biased, right? Like there's famously facial recognition algorithms that are biased, cause them to favor, white faces, Caucasian faces over darker skinned. Right. And they're just not great at recognizing those faces very well in the domain of of skin color, which is a problem. We also know that AI can become biased based on the content that it's trained on. We already know this. There's famously, again, that Twitter chatbot back in 2016, Tay. You remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That after less than a day turned into a anti-Semitic white supremacist. But, not through fault of necessarily the programming, but it was being trained live on Twitter comments.
Right.
And so that was a disaster. But very informative about how this sort of thing can be biased. It's not just, it's AI, but it can be biased. So Jakesh wanted to try and show, and was able to show that not only can AI be biased, but we, as users of the AI, can be biased by the AI without even knowing it. And that's why I asked you the question, Scott. Do you think that you think differently? It has changed the way that you think.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, let me get into it. So here's the experiment. Jakesh developed an AI writing assistant.
Yeah.
So like an AI writing assistant is like we've all used them before, whether you realize it or not. They range from something as simple as autocorrect on your phone, all the way to more advanced things like Grammarly or the Google Smart Compose in Gmail. Have you ever used that before?
Yeah, sure.
Where it suggests the rest of a sentence as you're typing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's all of those are using AI. They're AI writing assistants of various types.
Predictive text writing assistant stuff, yeah.
Exactly, and you can have an AI predict those things and come up with things to different extents, right? And so this Jakesh developed his own writing assistant using GPT-3 because at the time that's what was out, GPT-3, which GPT is what the ChatGPT is based on, right?
Yeah, OpenAI, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it uses. So in the experiment, they got participants and the participants were asked to write an essay answering the question, is social media good for society? It's just an open-ended question. Write an essay answering that question. Is social media good for society? Jakesh surveyed all the people on what their thoughts were before they actually wrote the essay. So to find out whether or not, basically, is it good or is it bad? They wanted to get that sense before the essay was actually written, and then wrote the essay using a software with this AI that had writing assist technology built in, right? So the AI assistant that was in the software that they were using to write the essay was programmed in one of three ways. So different groups of participants would have one of these versions, and then they were all compared, right? First one was the AI assistant was deliberately biased to provide suggestions against social media. Another one, as you might imagine, was biased to provide suggestions in favor of social media. And then a third one, as a control, was not deliberately biased in any way. And the results showed that participants with a biased AI were twice as likely to write an essay that matched the viewpoint of the bias, regardless of their initial stated viewpoints.
Wow.
So, and it shows, and also after they were surveyed afterwards, they weren't even aware that their viewpoint was being influenced. In other words, they claimed that was their viewpoint. Like after they thought it out, that was what they thought. They might have been aware that the suggestions might have been one way or the other, but they claimed that the thesis that they wrote was their opinion, regardless of whatever. And so it showed that they were being influenced by the AI. So,
all right, interesting.
What do you think about that?
I think that's wild. I wouldn't have expected that, but of course it would, right? Like you can't have. You could have done a study in, 97 through 2000 that said, how has our bias changed since the internet happened, since the World Wide Web in particular became a thing?
Right.
And you would have had to have had results that would show a difference. I think it's the same with anything that's like kind of a seismic technological jump. which this feels like one of those, whether we like it or not, where biases are going to be affected one direction or the other.
Right.
And what's funny to me, I think it was on TMS when I talked about this before, but when I asked ChatGPT what day it was the other day, and it came back with the correct answer.
You did talk about this on TMS.
Yeah, it came back with the right answer. It's like, yeah, it's Wednesday, the whatever, and it said the thing, and it just was so confident about its answer, and it was correct. But I wrote back, I said, I thought your data set ended in 2021, because it's always telling you I don't have data newer than whatever October of 2021. Yeah. I said, I thought you don't have data newer than that. How is this possible? And it wrote back, says, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I have no idea what day it is. that tells me
that to you.
Yeah,
it's funny that it did that to you, because when I was listening when you did that live, and I went and did exactly the same thing, and it gave me a cogent explanation for why.
Really?
It was like,
I
well,
extrapolated the data prior to 2021.
Well, it basically said you're correct. I don't have any information prior to this on training information or whatever, but I was able to figure out the date using the clock time on the processor or something like that. Like.
Oh, see, now it's telling me I just did it for funsies again. Here's what it says now.
Yeah.
I said, what day is it? It says today is May 30th, 2023. I thought you only had data through 2021. Apologies for the confusion. As an AI language model, my responses are based on pre-existing knowledge up until September of 2021. I don't have access to real-time data or the ability to keep track of the current data or date. Therefore, the date mentioned earlier, May 30th, 2023, was a fictional response for the purpose of providing an example. Please refer to the current date on your device or preferred information source for the accurate day. Yeah. A totally third weird answer, which is part of what...
It's funny, though, that it basically says, ask your calendar on your computer, because that's probably...
Because that's what I just did.
Go ask Dad, basically.
Yeah,
go ask your mother.
Dad. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like some of that stuff, it's so easy for us as the end point, or the end users for this stuff to look at that and have a bunch of reactions like, well, that's the dumbest thing I ever said, or that's too careful, or that's too safe, or that's not safe enough, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's actually kind of incredible and amazing that you got a different answer than I did twice, and that all three answers are kind of correct. Like, I don't know. This stuff fascinates me.
Back to the writers getting biased by the different answers. It kind of does point to the fact that this thing is able to make enough of a case, enough of a coherent case in either direction, that either confirms what the writer maybe went in believing or convinces them otherwise. But the fact that it's in either case, whether it's pro or against, it's able to convince the person reading it. It's able to provide enough of an argument either direction to convince the person,
right?
The person.
And to be clear, it's not. The AI is not arguing one way or the other. Like, it's not engaging the person in a discussion. It's just providing text with a little bit of a tone leaning one way or the other. A bias one way or the other. But and this probably isn't surprising to most people that it would bias the person writing, right? Like what we know about the neurology, and if you know a little bit about how memory works, you might not even be surprised that people would think that they came up with these ideas on their own, because what's happening is when you're typing all this stuff out, you're thinking about it actively and you're engaging those networks in your brain. You're thinking about your thoughts and then re-encoding them into memory actively, and you're going to your view of using a tool just to write a thing is you're gonna bias you're biased to think that you are in control of your own actions, right? Like that's just how we're wired. So you're gonna, as you're re-encoding this experience into memory, you're going to be biased into thinking that you were in control of that. And that, to me, a lot of people worry about, are we going to have, I think maybe less now, but are we going to have some sort of singularity in the AI apocalypse is going to happen? I don't worry about that. I worry about about our psychology and sociology, and how that's influenced by how we're being influenced by these biases that we're not aware of, on a level that we're not aware of, and that we're not fully aware of what's going on while it's happening and while we're using it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many question marks about what our interaction is with AI and what the consequences are. That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
And this, to me, highlights that issue by saying it's not just that, oh, we need to fix the bias in the software. We also need to define new cognitive biases and new logic issues that involve how we can be influenced by those things in sort of almost a loop, know?
And it's not lost on me that this is happening at a time where everybody is ready to like be the most defensive they've ever been online, because this is all happening online for the most part. Our exposure to it is happening online. And it's online where the last 10 years or so we have spent really building up walls and creating all sorts of like outburst anger type social media structures and all this sort of thing. So when you present me with this in that context and say, all right, have a very fun, unbiased time with this prompt or whatever, you're really asking a lot of people who are now trained to immediately be defensive or pissed or see something that isn't there or whatever, right? Like, it's even harder for that. So I agree with you. I think that does need to happen. I'll bet Wendy would agree as well. But first, I have to teach her what,
at the very least, we need to make sure that we are aware of, and if for those who aren't aware of, we're teaching people about how we can be influenced by this stuff.
Yeah.
So that we can be at least on guard,
Right.
Because one of the, if there's ever any kind of thing that I want people to know about, how our brains work, it's that they are incredibly flawed organs. Like we are so easily manipulated by ourselves and by everything around us. So
yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to follow. I mean, I'm both fascinated and irritated and happy about it at the same time. So
it's the 12-step program basically of AI. We feel resentful and argumentative. And
what's funny is it's not the software or any of the actual like tech that I have a problem with ever. It's people. It's just frickin' people. And it's mostly these people that act like they're doing a 3 a.m. infomercial with a blue check on their name, who are just so like, this is a game changer. And it's like, shut up for a minute and let's just get our heads around it. And then let's quit acting like Photoshop now telling you what the rest of the world behind the Mona Lisa looks like. That is the end all be all. We finally come to a human pinpoint of evolution. It's not. It's just predictive art, and it's a lark. It's fun. Like that stuff I sent Brian, the album art is a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't a game changer. It's just a thing.
You come up with some real world work use of that thing that is going to be able to be used in some sort of freelance aspect, and you can. The album cover thing, the content aware, that actually is brilliant, and that'll help fix things like do a better job of fixing things in Photoshop. Like, I've got this picture of this model, but there's this dude flying a kite on the beach behind her. How do I take this out?
Right.
Brilliant use of that.
That's a practical end game thing. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly a good example, because we forget what that is. Like, we are literally at a point where, what is the tool's point? It isn't just to wow us with what's behind the Mona Lisa. By the way, none of these Mona Lisa ones I've seen give her legs for some reason. She never has legs, which I can't figure out. It's mostly just the hellscape that's behind her.
Modot Lisa.
But like, what is the practical use of that? To quickly entertain, to be kind of a funny, weird one-off, and then move on. That's not game changer. That's just a thing that I'm going to get hung up on for 2 seconds, smile, and share it with a friend or two, and then you're done. What are you really going to use that for? And right now, I don't exactly have the answer, but I did watch an artist yesterday who started with a hand-drawn piece of art that he did, and it was a building. He was trying to his end goal was to make a big cityscape of what am I trying to say? Like cyberpunky, right? Everyone loves that look for whatever reason. But he wanted to start with this little cottage and make it look like this thing had always been there for hundreds of years, and this weird city built up around it. So he did it in chunks. It was like, I'll start with that. I hand drew that. Okay. I've colored it. It's done. Now I'm going to just square off this thing right next to it. Okay, that's going to be a building. I'm going to sort of lasso what looks like the outline of a tree over here, a palm tree, and boom, a palm tree appears. And he just slowly built this thing out until he had this huge collage. And it was all in the style of what he started with his own hands. And I look at that and go, all right, that makes sense to me. Some may still have problems with that, saying, well, that's shortcuts you shouldn't take. You should have, it's all about having the skill to do all of that yourself. I understand those arguments, but, he went from a human thing to filling out the rest of it in a very human way with the assistance of very advanced tools, and boom, ended up with a really cool piece at the end. Now we're talking. That's practical and useful. That's interesting. Yeah. What isn't interesting is going, we got the little naked kid from the Nirvana album. And when I blow it out,
I thought he was in a swimming pool. Turns out he was in the ocean.
He's in the ocean. Can you believe it? This is a game changer. Shut up with the game changer. Freaking hate it.
The person with the dollar bill was Abe Vigoda. Who knew?
I clearly have I have a bigger issue with these people than I do the tech. But yeah.
Well, you have to be careful that you say like you don't have a problem with technology. You have a problem with the people. We got to be careful that we're not. When you say that, you're not separating them. Because,
no. They're still there.
We have a problem with the people, but they are inexorably intertwined those are not two separate issues. They are the same.
It would be, but I'll tell you this. Here, it would be the same reaction if somebody made a video of they knocked a plant over. There's potting soil all over the hardwood floor. And he walks in with a vacuum and goes and sucks up a bunch of it, and then looks at the camera and goes, "This is a game changer." Now, do you see what I'm saying? Like, sure. You're overblowing it. Like, blow it, just don't overblow it. That's all. And or act like your little blue check Twitter account is the one that figured it out. Can you believe I discovered an ocean behind? No, you highlighted the thing, you outcropped it, and said go. You didn't do anything.
Right.
So anyway,
you didn't discover anything. Yeah.
Sorry, I have beef. I have beef with these people. Some beef.
Certainly some.
Anyway, it's fascinating stuff. We'll probably in the future. I have to guess this segment will touch on this stuff more because it continues to evolve at a rapid pace.
Oh yeah. Lots of people doing research about it.
Indeed. Bobby, tell people where your show is so they can get more of this great content.
My podcast, I do a weekly science podcast called All Around Science. This episode that just came out on Monday, yesterday, Maura taught us all about bananas.
What?
Yeah.
Bananas? You mean BANANAS?
Wow. Yeah. That's my grandson's favorite thing to eat, and also full of potassium. Those things.
Yeah, apparently though, and I don't want to I don't want to scare anybody, including your grandson, but it's possible that we might not have bananas for very long.
Oh, well.
Yes, we have no bananas. No. Sorry, it feels like it's the most obvious joke to make there.
Yeah. Yes. We have no
but that's what we talked a lot about how bananas possibly could be eradicated because of fungal infection, and that it's a problem that we've known about for a long time and have not been able to get a handle on, and it's only getting worse. And it's happened before.
Ugh.
The banana we know now is not the banana from 100 years, like from even I think 80 years ago that people ate.
We're not going to talk about those weird plantain things, are we? And then
no. They're a different time. They're a different kind called Gros Michel, and they were apparently sweeter and creamier and better.
Creamier. I don't know how I feel about creamier banana. But...
Creamier bananas.
Yeah.
That's what. There's one thing I complain most about bananas. They're not creamy enough.
But there's a ton of different kinds of bananas, and we talk all about it on All Around Science. So if you wanna learn about that, you should check it out.
I think that's a great idea. And Bobby, of course, will be here each and every Tuesday to talk about cool science stuff as it breaks. Bobby, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Brian, we're gonna test this, see if this kills our call. Ready? Here goes. Did it go?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
Okay.
If I get rid of him, here's I think what I have to do. If I hang up on him or whoever it is first, then I don't have a problem. But if I rejoin the windows before I remove him, I think that's what kills us.
Sure.
Oh man.
Okay.
Stay tuned, everybody. I asked ChatGPT real quick, what is a creamy banana? Here's what it said.
Okay.
A creamy banana is not a specific term or widely recognized phrase. However, based on the individual words, one might interpret it as the banana has a smooth, rich, or creamy texture. Bananas themselves are naturally creamy when ripe, with a soft and smooth consistency. It's also worth noting that bananas are often used as an ingredient in various recipes to add a creamy texture to smoothies, desserts, and other dishes. If you have a specific context or recipe in mind, please provide more details so I can assist you further.
Excellent. We'll see. There you go.
That's good stuff. All right. We are done with the show, but not done entirely because we got to play a phone call. Okay. And this is about eating people.
All right? Gosh. Okay. I'm kind of frightened.
Yeah, you should be. It's almost a minute long. Another reason to be scared. All right. So here it is. Enjoy, and we'll talk about it after. This came to 801-471-0462. You can also have your voicemails on the show, like this person.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Scott. I was listening to yesterday's episode of the morning stream where you were talking about eating body parts, eating the human knee. Perhaps we don't eat the knee just because we simply haven't become accustomed to its taste, that tasty knee. I happened to stumble upon, some time ago, a museum that actually had a whole thing about cannibalism. And one of the things that always stood out to me from this museum was prion diseases. That's P as in Paul, R as in Ryan, I-O-N, prion diseases. And so if you do cannibalism, specifically, I guess it's if you eat the human brain. But it seems like if you practice cannibalism, you might get this disease, and it might make you stupider. So there you have it. Don't eat the knee because it'll make you dumber. Okay, this has been the PSA for today.
Thank you for the PSA.
Feels like
today.
the influencer. It might be too late for that influencer.
Yeah, it might be. They've eaten it and become dumber. I think they went in just as dumb.
Okay, that's wild. Huh.
Yeah. So the brain thing it's kind of like mad cow's disease, right? You're not supposed to eat cow brains or else it can screw you up. Yeah.
What about chilled monkey brains?
Oh, chilled. It's very good. What did that guy say? It's chilled monkey brains.
The delicacy or something.
Delicacy. Yeah, whatever. I love that guy. But here's the thing, though. Look, if I'm going to eat a human body, I'm not starting with the brain. I'm starting with like a really good thigh meat.
Calf. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Something like that.
Calf, the thigh, something.
Yeah. Good. Like a good, what's this one? Bicep.
Boy, do you need to watch Yellow Jackets on Showtime.
Oh, I assume that goes places with the whole cannibalism.
Goes places, yes.
Yeah. Is it worth? I feel like, okay, so I watched 3 episodes and then I just got busy and I just didn't get back to it.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just feel like I'm signing up for a really long haul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do I want that? I feel like I don't know if I want that. Like a long haul. Like,
we're enjoying it a lot. Tina and I are. J.K. Grammer and his girlfriend, and I can't remember her name, but they think that, speaking of bananas, they think that show is bananas. Tina and I have been digging it, and it just feels like a, what's the best comparison? Not like a Breaking Bad level, but like a,
is it
Sarah.
Is it like Lost, sort of?
No, it's darker. Definitely a lot darker than Lost. I don't know. Usually 3 episodes is my barometer. If I don't like something by 3 episodes, then I don't continue with it. And that's, I didn't with Golden Girls, for example.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess but it was weird because I got to the end of 3 episodes and I didn't not like it. I just sort of went.
Yeah.
I kind of had this feeling like, oh boy, I got to get ready to really get in here and not stop. And then I got busy, and then I'm like, oh, do I go back? It kind of felt like a huge video game.
A survival game kind of?
Kind of a little bit, because you got to start out with all these hints and bits and pieces, and they got to all add up over time. And I don't know, something about the way it's structured. It's the kind of thing I normally would say I like. On paper, I like that.
Yeah.
But in this case, I don't know. I felt overwhelmed by it.
It's you know what? I will say that. It feels like a very heavy show. And I like the Handmaid's Tale comparison Drenched Wildfire came up with. Probably that is the level of heaviness comparison.
Because I love that show. I watched every second of that thing.
Yeah. And it's not soccer moms. It's a, young high school soccer team but you live in both the world, not the world, the time frame in which their plane crashed and they're stuck in the mountains, versus the time frame in the future where some of them have survived and grown up and are having weird connections to all that.
What's her name is so good in there. She was in that one episode of Last of Us. I can't think of her name.
Yes.
She's so good.
What the heck is her name? She's Melanie Linsky.
She has a way about her, something about her when she's like, there's something
very genuine about her. Did you ever see that movie she did with Kate Winslet, Beautiful Creatures?
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember what I'd seen. Yeah, that's her. She has this way of looking kind of mousy and innocent on the outside, but then something dark inside. It's really hard to explain. I love her, though. She's great.
It's very believable with her. Yeah, she's incredible. Yeah, Christina Ricci is Christina Ricci, in my opinion. There is you know what you get with Christina Ricci. It's almost like hiring Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get. And that's not to say I don't like Christina Ricci or Juliette Lewis for that matter.
Sure.
But in both cases, you get the thing that you paid for. You get Juliette Lewis, you get Christina Ricci.
Yeah, that's what you're in for. Whether you like it or not, that's what you're getting. I don't know. I'll have to give it another shot.
Anyway, I would go back. The first season's fantastic. People are like, yeah, mixed feelings on the second season. I totally get that. So your results may vary. But,
I might rip through final Barry season first, and then I really do feel compelled to catch up on the one that just ended. Succession. Thank you.
Yeah, Tim and I are doing we're watching Succession together, and I'm watching Barry solo.
Oh, nice. Barry Solo. I like
Barry Solo. That's the best Barry is Barry Solo.
Barry Solo. He was great. Carbonite and all that. Couldn't see. Boba Fett.
I hate that they tell you how he got his name as Barry Solo. It's just such a disappointing story point.
100% agree. I freaking hated that. I hated that. All right. Well, that's it for the show. Don't eat people, I guess, is the lesson there from that call. And if you want to call in 801-471-0462, you can also leave texts there. And if you'd prefer the email way, that's fine too. That's themorningstream@gmail.com. Real quick, want to mention our Patreon, which is going to swing over into a new month very shortly. We're almost in June, you guys. Weird.
Crazy.
Yeah. Brian's big month, June. It's going to be nuts for you.
It really is, yeah. I mean, basically, it's going to be you and Monica for quite a few couch parties.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. You won't be here for couch party.
For two of them anyway. For the 9th and the 16th, you're going to be. It's you and Monica, or you and Randy and Monica, or whoever.
You're here this week, though, right?
I'm here this week, yeah, for couch party this week. So
we should
watch stuff that I don't like for.
Yeah,
couch
that's what I was
party.
going to say. We should do something this week that we definitely want to do together. And then I'll come up with something. I don't know what it would be. Maybe we'll watch some Golden Girls.
There you go. You know what? Pfft, awesome. Do it. Please. Please do it.
Might do that, actually. All right. Anyway, join us over on Patreon. Perfect time to hop in right before the turnover. You get new stuff next month. Patreon.com/TMS for all the details. That's going to do it for today's show. Brian brought a song. He will now tell us what it is so we can play it.
Yeah, Casey wrote in. Casey says, by the way, I have tons of requests for May. I still have quite a few for June. If you've made a request for May and it didn't get played, I'm going to try and get some of the older requests in and try and get those worked into slots in June. But apologize. We ended up with a lot of requests in May, and I think that was because we had so few at the beginning. I said, hey, send me requests, and then people added them. So I will do what I can to get through all of the this is a blanket statement. I do what I can to get through all of the old requests as well as the new.
There you go. Fair enough.
Casey wrote in and says, hey, sauerkraut and bratwurst. Oh, it's making me hungry. I'm celebrating my 45th year of existence on May 29th.
Oh,
let's party.
Get that out early.
No problem. I usually wait a beat and I see if you're going to do it. And if not, then I keep going. I go by Neon Knight in the Tadpool, but I don't get to participate in chat when I'm listening live because I'm at work. I would like to request Ghost's cover of Jesus He Knows Me by Genesis. Even though she didn't like Ghost, I want to wish my wife in heaven a happy birthday. She would have turned 36 on May 22nd. I miss you, babe. Love the show though, and you know that guy on Twitter lied. Signed, Casey.
Man, that's too young. I feel so
Way
bad.
Too young. Yeah. Oh,
awful.
Ghost released this incredible EP last week ago Friday, called, I had it in the Phantomonopolis or something like that. Phantomine.
Okay.
All covers, and Ghost is known for including a cover or two on all their albums, which are always excellent. They released a whole album or a whole EP of covers, and this is one of the best ones. They're all fantastic. This is a great one from that. It is Genesis's "Jesus He Knows Me" from the Phantomime EP. Here is Ghost.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for a Wednesday edition of TMS.
If you like what you just heard, there's a very good chance you will like all the shows on the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Help me, help me.
Dunaway. Dunaway, help me.
Help me, Flash Gordon.